Welcome to Beyond the Drill, the podcast that shows you how to grow a successful dental clinic using proven marketing and sales systems. Your host, Mark Vernham, is your growth partner and the expert strategist that will show you just how easy it is to quickly grow your dental clinic. Each week, he'll share proven strategies, insider tips, and stories that will help you turn more leads into loyal patients, scale your business, and unlock the growth you've been dreaming of. This is where dental business owners come to level up, because success starts beyond the drill. And now over to your host, Mark Vernham.
Hi, welcome to Beyond the Drill. I'm Mark Vernham, and today we're diving into an issue that can really bleed profits for clinics, no-shows, and those pesky last-minute cancellations. We're going to tackle why they happen, how you can reduce them, and the systems you should put in place to keep your schedule as airtight as possible. Because honestly, if your chairs are empty, it's not just frustrating, it's costing you more than you might realize. Let's talk numbers for a second. Every unfilled slot eats into your revenue. You've got overheads, staff who still need to be paid, and let's face it, there's the opportunity cost of not using that time for better paying patients or other priorities, and this can be subtle. It starts to mess with team morale. Waiting around for a no-show, it's not great for anyone involved, is it? Now, why do no-shows happen? It's often a mix of things. Patients forget, they get cold feet, suddenly something else comes up, or maybe they're feeling stretched financially. A lot of these could be avoided if they were addressed correctly ahead of time, but in the moment, they can feel like unavoidable realities. Let's start with one of the most straightforward but often overlooked approaches, a clear cancellation policy. You need to have this nailed down, written out, and most importantly, shared everywhere with your patients. So what does a strong policy actually look like? First off, it's got to be firm but also fair. Now, I usually recommend requiring at least 24 to 48 hours notice if someone wants to cancel or reschedule. This gives you, the clinic, enough time to possibly fill that slot, or at least adjust accordingly. And then there's the all-important cancellation fee. I know, people don't love paying penalties, but honestly, charging a reasonable fee for last-minute cancellation sends a message: your time is valuable. You're running a professional business, and patients need to respect that. Now, where do you put this policy? Everywhere. Seriously, it's got to be clear in your email confirmations, your appointment reminders, on your website, even on the walls in your clinic if needed. Because the more visible it is, the harder it is for anyone to claim they weren't aware of it. All right, let's move on to another really effective tool for cutting down no-shows: automated appointment reminders. This is one of those things that once you get it set up properly can kind of run on autopilot and save you a ton of hassle. So here's how it works. You'll want to send out reminders through multiple channels: SMS, email, even automated phone calls if that's something your patient base prefers. And you'll want to time these reminders just right. Typically, that 24 to 48 hour window before the appointment tends to work best. It's close enough to the date that patients remember it, but still gives them an opportunity to reschedule if something, comes up. Now, here's an important detail. Your reminders should allow patients to confirm or, if necessary, reschedule their appointments directly. Let's be real, the fewer barriers people face in taking action, the better. A simple reply yes to confirm or providing a link to reschedule can really cut down on last-minute surprises. You can use tools like Zapier or patient management software to automate this entire process. These systems can sync with your calendar and even update your schedule in real time if someone changes their appointment or cancels, which, let's face it, will happen now and then. And the beauty of automation? It means your staff don't have to spend hours chasing down confirmations or making calls. They can focus on more productive tasks. One more thing, and this is where data can make a big difference: track your patient response patterns. You'll start noticing trends, like maybe your Monday patients respond better to reminders sent in the evenings, or maybe your younger patients prefer text messages over emails. This kind of insight helps you refine your approach over time, making your reminders even more effective. Now, let's talk about a system that works wonders for cutting down on last minute cancellations and no shows, prepaid and deposit based appointments. If you're not doing this already, you're leaving money on the table. Literally, here's how it works. For your high value treatments, things like Invisalign, implants, or anything that takes up a big chunk of your schedule, start implementing a deposit system. Patients put down a percentage of the total cost up front, and this is non-refundable if they cancel without proper notice. It's not just about protecting your revenue, it also emphasizes to the patient just how valuable that appointment slot is. It creates a sense of commitment. For your routine appointments, you can take a slightly different approach. Instead of deposits, offer incentives for prepaid bookings. That could be a small discount or even some perks, maybe a free travel-sized toothpaste, something small but appreciated. People love perks, and honestly, it's a great way to show your patients that you value their commitment while also ensuring your schedule stays solid. And here's the thing about prepaid systems. They work because they make patients feel invested. It's a bit of psychology in play here. When someone's already paid for something, they're much less likely to skip out unless it's absolutely unavoidable. It's basic human behavior, but it works really well in a clinical setting. Of course, getting your patients on board with this means your team has to be on the same page, train your staff to communicate these policies confidently and clearly, and they need to be able to explain the benefits, like how prepayment ensures patients get the best possible care and keeps the clinic running efficiently. No apologies, just straightforward, professional, and patient-focused communication. Now, let's shift gears and talk about how to strengthen patient commitment. Because honestly, the stronger the bond your patients feel with your clinic, the less likely they are to cancel or worse, no-show. First things first, educate your patients. And I mean really emphasize why showing up matters, not just for their oral health, but for their overall well-being, whether it's preventing small dental issues from becoming major headaches or staying on track with treatments like aligners. You've got to make it clear that these appointments aren't just check boxes, they're important steps toward their health goals. And then there's trust. Building relationships isn't just, a nice to have thing, it's the foundation of loyalty and accountability. Treat every interaction as an opportunity to strengthen that relationship. It could be something as simple as greeting patients by name or remembering small details about their lives. Over time, those little personal touches add up and patients feel more connected to your clinic. Now, here's an interesting one. Reward reliability. This can be a game changer. You could offer small perks for consistent attendance, maybe a discount on their next cleaning, an entry into a raffle, or even loyalty points they can redeem. People love being recognized for doing the right thing, and rewards show that you appreciate them sticking to their commitment. And lastly, every clinic should have a solid waitlist system in place. This is vital for filling those unavoidable last-minute gaps. Keep a running list of patients who are flexible, those who wouldn't mind coming in on short notice. That way, when someone cancels, you can quickly slot someone else in and keep your schedule full. It's efficient, it's professional, and frankly, it's just good business. Strengthening patient commitment might take some upfront effort, but in the long term, it pays off in spades. Reliable patients, a packed schedule, and most importantly, a practice that runs smoothly, it's absolutely worth it. All right, so we've covered a lot of ground, and now it's time to talk about how you can really make all these strategies work for you in the long run, and that starts with tracking and refining your approach. First off, keep an eye on your cancellation rates and look for patterns. Is a particular day of the week worse than others? Are certain types of appointments more likely to get cancelled? This kind of data doesn't just sit there, it gives you insight into what might need tweaking. And believe me, there's almost always room for improvement. Then look at your reminders. Are they hitting the mark? Timing is key here, but so is the tone of your messaging. If patients are giving feedback like, I forgot, or the reminder didn't help, guess what? that's your cue to make adjustments. Maybe your messages need to be a bit earlier or maybe more frequent. Now, policies, this one's a balancing act. Are your rules too strict and they're putting off patients? Or maybe they're so relaxed that people feel like it doesn't matter if they cancel last minute. It's all about finding that sweet spot where your time is respected, but your patients still feel supported. You review these policies regularly, just like everything else in your practice. And let's not forget your team. They need proper training on how to handle scheduling changes. It's not all about automation after all. Whether it's enforcing the policies diplomatically or rescheduling patients smoothly, having a confident, well-prepared team makes all the difference. Because at the end of the day, a great patient experience often hinges on those little interactions, doesn't it? So here's the big takeaway. Running a clinic isn't about setting things up once and walking away. It's about constantly fine-tuning, testing, and improving. Getting better at reducing no-shows and late cancellations is no different. It's ongoing. But if you stick with it, if you're consistent, your clinic benefits, your team benefits, and most importantly, your patients benefit. And on that note, that's all for today. Thanks for tuning in to Beyond the Drill. Go put some of these tips into action, and I'll see you on the next episode. Take care.